Hi everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have another video for you in the German line. This is the Tier 10 medium tank, the Leopard 1. And as always, we have a complete guide. So let's have a look at this tank in action, in real action, not Blitz action. This tank is a iconic Cold War tank. It has featured in the armed forces of over 10 countries, including many NATO countries. It is effectively a classic NATO Cold War tank, used by the German Bundeswehr, the Belgian army, to name but a few, in NATO. You can see here it is a very effective battle tank, beautiful gun, as is reflected in the game of Blitz, where the tank is quite fast, quite mobile, as you can see here, but also has that amazing gun. And you know, it's great to be able to play these iconic tanks, you know, World War II tanks, but also Cold Warrior tanks like this Leopard 1, which is a follow-on from the Leopard PTA, which we also did. And the Leopard PTA was the prototype for this amazing tank. It also, as I said, is an iconic Cold War era tank, NATO tank, and it features predominantly in Tom Clancy's Red Storm Rising, which is a great book, which sort of gives a scenario of a Third World War, a conventional Third World War starting. And it's a star there of several tank battles for both the German and the Belgian armies, and in particular one flanking movement where they come up behind Soviet armour in Germany. And if you haven't read that book, I would definitely recommend it. It's a great read if you're interested in tanks and general military sort of literature. Now let's have some thoughts on this tank. This is a very difficult tank to play. Here are my stats in this tank after 11 battles. I haven't really played this tank much, so I played 11 battles in it to do the video, and look at these stats, pretty poor, right? And it really surprised me because I was Unicum, or Super Unicum, I can't remember, in the Leopard PTA, and I thought this is pretty much the same. It is more or less the same tank, handles very similarly, same gun, etc. So I took a step back, rethought, and started to play a bit more carefully. I re-watched the light tank and the medium tank guides that I did myself, and you can see how that affected the stats. So after taking that pause and reflecting and thinking about my play style, I went back, and as you can see, after just 4 games, really improved and delivered a mastery badge, etc. But I just wanted to show you this because I think that this tank is extremely difficult to play. I think stepping up even from the tier 9, which is very similar to tier 10, is a big step, because you're up against, you know, bigger guns all the time. You're a big target, and you know, I just think it is a very difficult tank to play. It's a very difficult tank to do well in, and I think if you are not doing well in it, it may not necessarily be your fault. The tank itself is not helping. And I think that what happened to me, my experience of playing it, is illustrative of that. And I think that you should just bear that in mind. And if it's not going well for you, of course, because the tank is very unforgiving, and we're going to see that when we look at the tech spec. You know, just take a break. You know, maybe play something else, or maybe watch some videos on it. Maybe look at the medium light tank guide again, because this is a medium tank but plays like a light tank. And just take some time out, you know, don't beat yourself up, because it is a very difficult tank to play. You're up with the best players, with the biggest guns, you've got no armour, it's quite a big target, and you know, they're just some of the reasons why it is very difficult to play, and to play this tank well. And I just wanted to illustrate that by showing you those stats, and before we get into the review itself. So let's have a look at the tech spec. You know, in terms of being a medium tank, it is excellent. But it plays as a light tank. It plays as the PTA before it, and the RU-251 before that. But of course, unlike the RU-251, it doesn't have the active camo when you're moving, which is a disadvantage. The 105mm gun is brilliant though. It has a 6-second reload, and this really helps you deliver some really fantastic actual DPM figures in the game. And I said it's an excellent medium tank, but then you're probably wondering, well, what was this about the statistics? It is an excellent medium tank, for sure, but it's difficult to play. But that's not about the tank, that is about the characteristics that surround it in Blitz. Now, I would use supercharged refined gun on this, because when you use supercharged, you get up to almost 2,000 meters per second, just like the PTA, because it's the same gun. And that 2,000 meters per second is fantastic. And as we've discussed before many times on the channel, In the formula for armor penetration, muzzle velocity is squared, therefore it has an exponential positive effect on the ability to pen, which is why I always use muzzle velocity. Mathematics significantly superior to your opinion, and you can't argue with it, whereas you can argue with one's opinion. This tank is very fast. It does 65 kilometers an hour, 23 backwards, so it's really mobile and agile. And as you can see, the traverse, while not fantastic, if you move those tracks, is very good, and it's really only on very soft ground where your tracks are not moving that quickly that you will anyway suffer with traverse speed. Now, it has zero armor, as we discussed before with the tanks before, and everything's going to pen you. But this, of course, should not surprise you, right? Because unless you've free XP'd here, you've played to speak the RU251, the PTA before that. If you've free XP'd here, by the way, because I know there's a million free XP you can buy, then you're going to suffer. This is going to be ouch when you play this tank. So I hope you didn't do that. The first minute of the game is critical for you in this tank. We discussed this with the PTA and the RU251 as well. Because the reds are unspotted, the big guns are unspotted, you don't know where they are, and this cat is therefore on the endangered species list. So what to do? Well, in that first minute, use your speed, agility and mobility to get around the map to spot up those reds. Run 2 repair kits while doing this, because you do not want to get tracked out in the open in this tank. There is no armor on the sides and back, almost no armor on the front. Almost everything at tier 9 and tier 10 can hit you and pen you with HE. So they don't even have to aim that well, because HE doesn't bounce, as we know. You can see here, even against tier 9s, even front on, you're going to be penned by everything. So therefore, as we were saying, in the first minute of the game, stay safe, find those big guns, play like a classic light tank, scout, spot, but keeping in cover, using the mobility and agility of the tank. And this not only is beneficial for you, but also for your team, because once those reds are spotted, the map is then yours. You can get around that map from one side to the other really quickly. It says here that it's good at everything except front line, but of course you have to be careful, you have to play to the tank's limitations. Strange enough, long-range sniping is only average there, but I would suggest that long-range sniping is actually one of the key assets of this tank, because with that muzzle velocity, you can pen from distance with accuracy and assurance, and the gun handling on this tank is fantastic. So I guess what I'm saying is, to summarize the tech spec, you have a fantastic gun, you have a fantastic chassis and hull to deliver that gun into the right positions. You should play as an ambush tank, sniping from distance, and you can spot up the enemy. But in no way should you be exposing yourself, making yourself a target, especially the first minute of the game. And this tank is a brilliant tank. It's great fun to play, but it takes some time to get used to. Now on this map, I'm playing the Leopard 1 with the special wild camo, which makes it look really cool, and it obviously suits it being a Leopard. And I'm going to blast off towards C. I'm going to try to spot and scout at C, because in this game, this is where you should be going. And you know, securing this bank here on the right hand side is key in this, and it's the difference between creating or being caught in a crossfire. If you're in a light or medium tank, you should be securing this bank in this tank. If you're not really doing your job. If you decide to go towards C, or if you're in a counter battle to the riverbed, you really need to secure the far bank, because you will either create a crossfire, which is great, or you will be caught in one if you do not secure that far bank. So that's what I'm doing here. As you can see, I didn't have a great start to the game, and the E50 is pummeling me. He's putting rounds in on me, and I'm getting bounces, and I've already lost half my hit points, and I haven't actually done any damage. So poor start to the game. Kind of didn't help that I didn't have any support from my allies. I'm all kind of a bit isolated here, but I still believe I did the right thing coming across to secure this bank, because I don't believe you can win this game if you go to the right hand side of the map from where we spawned without securing that far bank, for the reasons that we discussed. Now, I at last got in some damage on the IS-8. You saw how accurate the gun is. Again, look at this. This is just beautiful accuracy from this gun, and this is how good this gun is. And this is why I said I was surprised that long range sniping wasn't in as good on this tank, because for long range sniping this tank is really perfect. I mean, it has one of the best guns in Blitz in terms of accuracy, pen and muzzle velocity, and with the speed, delivery and mobility of this tank, you can get into sniping positions really well, and not just one but multiple sniping positions across throughout the game. Again, I caught one here, but you saw just how accurate the gun is right into the lower plate of the E50M, and a bit of a duel developed between me and the E50M. Surprised that my teammates allowed him to push on to come around at the side and behind me. And I guess this is one of the things about the game when your teammates don't support you. Pause it here. It looked like I had a good shot, but as you can see, he moved away, angled up, so I had to wait, then fired, got the pen. If I had rushed that shot, I would have bounced it off. As you can see here, beautiful shot, set him on fire, and just take him out. And this gun really is, when you're able to get shots in, this gun is something special. Thinking about one here on the E50, and I get at last a little bit of luck. Look at that for a bounce. That is just pure luck, by the way, guys and girls. You cannot play for that with this tank. Anything you get in a bounce, you should take as a bonus. You cannot play for it, and it's nothing to do with you or the tank. It's just RNG luck. Now the job is done there, so I'm going to move off, and I'm going to do what a light tank or a medium tank should do. I'm going to cap. And I'm going to also try to support my allies. So really doing the solid medium or light tank play. I mean, this is a medium tank, but effectively it plays as a light tank. That's what it is, but without some of the advantage of a light tank, such as the active camo when you move. So there we go. We just see, look at that heat bloom. It wasn't my kill, but I just thought it was a cool heat bloom on the grill as he was taken out by the object. And there you go, cap and a team kill. So that's solid medium tank play for me. And now I'm going to support the others, because why? Well, it's a team game and you can win it on your own. And we're 3v1 now, but and it may seem like it's easy, but it's not. What I'm trying to do here, by the way, I was trying to ammo rack the IS-7, but you see in slow motion I actually fired just slightly below where the ammo rack is. Doesn't mean it would have gone through anyway, but in case you're wondering why I picked that spot, that's where the ammo rack is in an IS-7. And if you look at the Batchat Musketeer game, I actually have the weak points on IS-7 in that video. He just angled up, angled up really well there, just as I was about to fire. Good solid play from him. Now if we remember our shell dynamics, I couldn't fire heat into the side of the IS-7 because it has spaced armor. But now, as he's front onto me, I select heat because I want to make sure I pen, and the IS-7 has really tough frontal armor. He is a difficult, tough customer, and this guy knows how to play. But look at this, look how accurate that gun is. That's a beautiful shot, 330 alpha roll, a thing of beauty. And that's what you can do with this gun. Now I'm going to stay safe. My allies, the object is coming. The IS-8 was a bit useless, I have to say. Now I'm going for this vulnerable spot here. It doesn't go through. IS gets lucky, but the second time round I go for exactly the same spot, just here, that vulnerable spot, and I launch it off, and it goes right through. I have a needle stuff, and that really is just how good this gun is. First one, I think I hit the same spot, but the IS got lucky with the bounce. Second one, right through, right into that vulnerable spot. Bam, game over. 2 kills for me, 3.4k damage, mastery badge. But the mastery badge delivered not because of the damage, because I've done far more damage in it. It's because of the base XP, which we see here is over 1,200. Going to give the object 268, a team player, and the chieftain. They played very well, and I'm going to give that E50 a worthy opponent, because it really was some duel between us, and I don't think I would have won that without my team eventually coming to help me. He was a good player, did all the right things, and probably didn't deserve to be on the losing side. But of course, in every Blitz game, 7 people win, 7 people lose. That's why we shouldn't freak out when we lose, you know, and start moaning about noobs and fucking matchmaking and all these different things. You know, that is just the way the game is. So let's have a recap on the key points of this big cat, the Leopard 1. It is an excellent medium tank, but it plays as a light tank. But as we said, it's a difficult tank to play with, even though it is excellent. And one of the reasons for that is, of course, not having the armor, and you need to keep safe in the early part of the game. If you do that, you will see your statistics and success go up. So therefore, play as a light or die on sight. If you play any other way, you won't do well. 105mm gun is fantastic. It has great gun handling. I cannot praise it enough. It is just a thing of beauty, if that's not an oxymoron. 6-second reload is good, and it gives you effective DPM is excellent. Why? Because you get so much pen on it. The tank is so agile, the map is yours, especially after that first minute. Once you spot up those reds, you can move around the map safely. Therefore, you should spot, scout and cap if you can, and move as the game unfolds. Don't just sit there if you've got a good position. Do what I did. Relocate once your job is done in a particular spot. And at the start of the game, I can't emphasize enough again, spot up those big guns. Use supercharge and refine gun, get that muzzle velocity up, because the muzzle velocity at 1921 meters per second is just wowzer, and you will pen all day long. And you can do shots like as I did with the IS-7 at the end, through the eye of a needle, get that kill. This is a great tank, but you need to be aware of its weaknesses. But once you compensate for those, you can enjoy it, and it can be so much fun. It's such a versatile tank. It's so much fun, and that gun is great. So cheers much, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful, and I guess all that remains for me to say is pants off.